Now we'll see if West Virginia comes out and chunks it on the first play here.
So Wicks, who had Roots in his grasp and then saw him spin away for 5 extra yards to keep that drive alive with a first down, makes up for it by causing the fumble. White all the way in the option keeper. Cuts back toward the sideline and is at the 28-yard line, where Mike Mickens costs White a touchdown after 31 yards. Last drive he kept for 34. This drive, Pat White begins with a 31-yard keeper.
And you know, the pressure on the quarterback by coming out to the outside. You notice that the outside sprint, everybody's going to the outside, open the middle of the field for White to get up in it. The option really stretched, trying to get outside for Slayton with his speed as a halfback.
I want you to see the growth, almost possession by possession for White. Just his second collegiate start. Runs out of another tackle, another first down to the 15-yard line of Cincinnati. Thomas Claggett and Antoine Horton combined to knock him out after 13 more yards. And White is already over 100 yards on the ground.
Well, he's out of gas right now. I mean, those legs are just churning along, and he is a huffing and a puffing.
159 rush yards already for West Virginia. The 8-minute mark of the first half. A 1st and 10 from the 15. Reynaud spins out of a tackle, and just as he sniffs the goal line, he trips up at the 8. Darius Reynaud, sophomore from Butte, Louisiana, thinks he has 6 here.
You know, the strong arm to get it to Reynaud quickly so that he can turn and look at the defense coming at him. He makes the move, and Reynaud, the old grass monster, jumped up and got him. That's one of those that you like. You wish you could be in the meeting tomorrow when they all laugh at him.
Reynaud motion man, 2nd and 4. Slayton, who's already got 2 touchdowns, and adds a 3rd. Steve Slayton on his 10th carry of the night, his 3rd touchdown. 20-0 West Virginia.
Well, if he's a baseball player, he's hitting 300 for the end zone.
The former baseball player, Pat White, got him down there again. White has carried 5 times tonight for 102 yards. A 31-yarder started this scoring drive. McAfee makes it 21-0. So White and Reynaud set it up for Slayton to finish the job again, and a Mountaineer-dominated first half. 21-0 West Virginia. Outgaining Cincinnati 239 total yards to 74. Outgaining him on the ground 168-34. Dominic Goodman buried inside the 10. The fired up Mountaineers on all sides of the ball, including special teams now showing their dominance. As Charles Pugh comes up for this, shall we say, slobber knocker? Does this qualify?
Well, it's just too low. You know, when you get hit up high is when you get the slobber knocker. You know, the slobber knocker, decleater. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Big hit. No doubt.
Something besides just another good tackle.
Another good tackle. Young guys don't know to stop playing when you're up 21-0, do they?
So all the Bearcats need now start on their own 10, down 21-0. Almost half of the second quarter to go. They start with Glodar moving the pile about 4 yards beyond where you thought it might stop. Turns 1 yard into 5. What keyed that last scoring drive for the Mountaineers? What started it? 31 yards on the keeper up the middle by Pat White.
It was the option to the left. And the speed of Steve Slayton in the backfield, the defense respects so much. And they have to get on their horse to get to the outside to stop the pitch. And when you do that, remember what I said in the open, you lose your gap control and you open up something for Pat White.
Roots on 2nd down and 5, staying with Glodar. And Glodar again finds some yardage that wasn't necessarily there when he took that handoff, and he's going to come very close to the first down. He needed the 20. And they decide not even close enough to measure. 1st and 10, Cincinnati.
I think right now Cincinnati's offense might want to consider an up-tempo deal. You know, in and out of the huddle a little quicker, certainly, if not going to the line of scrimmage. You don't want to panic, but you need points on this drive. And that offensive line and the ball carriers, they've just got to give that little extra to it. And this drive here is critical, and they got to talk about that in the huddle.
And at some point, you still wait for Gruza to take a shot downfield. Maybe here. Nope. Not going to happen here. Bobby Hathaway, who recovered the fumble that set up the 3rd Mountaineer touchdown, knifes in on the blitz for the sack.
And Hathaway, you know, you're sitting there setting up the big shot. Linebacker Hathaway comes. The left tackle blows his block, loses containment on the inside. Blind side for Gruza, and he gets a pretty good shot.
We got a slobber knocker there. Sure.
That was plenty hot.
Hathaway plays behind Jeff Noshel at strong side linebacker. A loss of 6, 2nd and 16. And they run it on the passing down. Butler Benton. Benton knocked backwards by D. McCann.
Man, you know what? There's a reason West Virginia is leading the Big East right now. D. McCann and that secondary and this defense, they come up, and the perception sometimes is you hear it's a 3-3-5 defense. Maybe a little soft. Baloney on that. This defense will come up and get you. And it's 7-1 record this year. Only loss to Virginia Tech. They know how to play football. West Virginia is young, but they can play and play well.
This is one of those what-ifs. What if those two played again? What if you had a rematch with where West Virginia is now and where Virginia Tech apparently is now? Or at least was last week. Might have a completely different outcome. Gruza throwing on the run and throwing accurately, but nowhere near 1st down yardage. Ernest Jackson.
Yeah, what do you say we just call them up and see if they want to do a little extra work midweek? We've got a midweek crew here. We'll gladly throw it up on the bird.
I gotta think if that game is in neutral territory, wouldn't you go West Virginia?
Today?
Where the teams are right now?
But see, that's what the loss of Virginia Tech did for them last weekend. They got shellacked by Miami, and now everybody's going to think, well, maybe Virginia Tech's not that good. And certainly, there's a crack in the armor there. There's no doubt there. You know how to go after them.
Chet Irvin sees that ball. Tightrope down the sideline. And roll out of the 29, 46 yards. 3 touchdowns from true freshman Steve Slayton. He tied the Big East record held by Willis McGahee of Miami 2 games ago with 6 against Louisville. Already halfway there. Point again, you just don't see a 185-pounder when you watch him with that combination of ability to go right at tacklers, show some power, and then dart off and show the quick feet and the breakaway speed.
You know, sticking with the thought, the question, the concept of, you know, how would West Virginia do against Virginia Tech now? The switch that they flip here at West Virginia has everybody on this team. They always play hard.
Slayton close to 10 and another 1st down. In fact, that term came up over and over and over again, talking last night with Mark D'Antonio. What he said he wants to build here at Cincinnati is what Rich Rodriguez has at West Virginia, and that is a team that does 2 things every week. Shows toughness and plays hard. And if he said it once, he probably said it half a dozen times talking about West Virginia.
Every coach would like to have a smart, tough football team, but I think you have to have some kind of little gimmick like they have at West Virginia. You know you're flipping it on when you look at the door, leaving and coming.
Slayton this time for no gain. Talking about the sign in their locker room. Flip the switch when you leave the locker room. Flip that switch and get your football mindset on. And then when you come back in, he's got the opposite side of the door with the message, switch it back. In other words, get back into your street shoes and get back into your civilian mentality. Don't carry that football mentality back out to the campus.
You know, it's like Mike Leach at Texas Tech. That switch is always on offensively. You know, and certain coaches, they just instill that expectation.
Owen Schmidt on a carry. Holly, what we've seen from Steve Slayton brings to mind a not too distant West Virginia running back, doesn't it?
That's right. Quincy Wilson was one of the best 2 years ago for West Virginia. You'll remember him for that touchdown run against Miami. But Quincy, you spent the summer, you're here on the practice squad for the Bengals, but you worked out with Steve Slayton this summer. What did you see in that young back?
I seen that he was going to be a special guy. For somebody that young to come in and want to work as hard as he did, it was real impressive to me.
More in a moment, Dave.
Safety blitz by Haruki Nakamura, the sophomore from Elyria, Ohio. And a judo star since the age of 12 in a family that has produced a lot of stars in that sport.
Yeah, and you know, how in the world does a quarterback hang on to the football getting hit that hard from behind? Pretty impressive there. And Cincinnati's defense steps up and stops the offense.
Bill Brady for just the second time tonight. Rollout punter. Short return by Mike Daniels of a 33-yard kick. Holly again continue with Quincy.
Well, Quincy, you said that Slayton's a hard worker, but that seems to be the foundation for this West Virginia program. Tell us about coaches saying flip the switch. What did that mean to you when you were playing?
This means, you know, sometimes you might not want to work out, but, you know, you only get 12 opportunities, you know, to show what you can do out here. So the time when you come out there, you got to come out there and be ready to work.
How hard was it then to flip it back when you went off the field and not get in trouble in the community?
It's not that hard. You know, Coach Rod teaches us, you know, how to be respectable on the field and off the field. So that's really no problem.
You've seen another young quarterback, Pat White, here. What do you think about Pat?
Pat's a good dude, man. Everybody was worried about, you know, how they were going to replace Rashid. He was so much for the team, but Pat's come in and do a great job.
Here's Grutza rolling. And finally deciding to keep for about 4 yards. Holly.
And let's flip the switch now to the Cincinnati Bengals. You're having a terrific year there. You're on the practice squad. What is making their offense go right now?
Carson Palmer, Rudy Johnson. It's a team effort. You know, I mean, everybody's in there. Everybody's believing in the system, and we're just playing hard and we're pulling out big wins.
All right, thanks very much. That's Quincy Wilson, former Mountaineer running back, now on the practice squad for the Bengals.
One of the best they've ever had in Morgantown. Son of former Bear star Otis Wilson.
That run he had in the Orange Bowl against the Hurricanes, that seems like yesterday.
Grutza. Very fortunate. Eric Wicks didn't pick that one off, and here comes a late flag. Pass intended for Bill Pullen. Dennis Hennigan, our referee. Pass interference, West Virginia. First down, Cincinnati. And as we get close to halftime, Reese Davis, what do you have in store for us?
Dave, Mark May alongside. As always, it is a showdown Saturday coming up in the SEC. We'll profile those 3 big games and introduce you to guys who ought to be in the next crop of head coaches, plus the latest on Priest Holmes.
We're going to talk about some questionable officiating in the SEC this past weekend. We're talking about officials, Dave. Officials, Pony. Pony, poor officiating, Pony. What do you think about that?
You know what? Rich Brooks thinks that he's getting some bad calls in Kentucky, I was reading, and I think officials, when they put that zebra suit on, they do a heck of a job. But, Mark, we've seen many times that they just look like they got too tight a haircut.
Second down, hurry up. Grutza, Jackson, wiped out by Mike Lorello, and it's incomplete. A trademark hit by Mike Lorello from Powell, Ohio, the senior Bandit safety.
You know what? But we finally see Grutza throwing the ball down the field. He has accuracy, and you're going to get hit. And I tell my sons, who both are wide receivers, you're going to get the shot, so go ahead and finish it up if you can. Now, Lorello did come in and lay the wood on that shot. That there again was a bona fide slobber knocker.
Those are starting to pile up now. 3rd and 7. Blitz. Grutza down. Back at his 40. Antonio Lewis on the corner blitz. And now with 3 timeouts to work with, you would expect West Virginia. Well, you'd think they would call one here and then have 2 left when they get the punt, but apparently they're going to let them kick it away and then use the 3 once they finally. Nope, Rich Riley's going to call it here. About 15, 20 seconds melted off the clock that time, and he's a little hot about it, too.